We get it, you're keen on mullets, we do too. But if only it had been socially acceptable. Well, now it is. At least on your bike. The all-new Santa Cruz V10 comes with a MX option, so you'll be able to do business in the front with 29-inch wheel and party it up in the back with 27.5-inch. With years of podium winning design, Santa Cruz is prepared to unleash their World Cup winning design to the masses. In today's video, we will be reviewing the 2021 Santa Cruz V10. But before we go further, make sure you press that little red button to subscribe to our channel. And if you haven't done it yet, press the bell icon to get notified every time we drop a new video. You can tell instantly that the V10 29 has years of refinement and development behind it. By the efficiency with which it covers ground, that's something that stood different to me, which I put right down to a mix of its excellent pedaling characteristics, well-supported rear end, and sub-16 kilogram weight. It's been a mainstay of the World Cup downhill circuit for the better part of 2 decades, racking up a powerful list of podium appearances along the way. In 2017, a prototype 29-inch wheeled version of the venerable downhill machine made its racing debut, opening the floodgates for subsequent generations of race bikes. There's no denying the continued development of the V10 plays a huge part in what makes this bike so good. I found it strikes an excellent balance between offering a light and lively ride, yet having the ability to immerse bumps with ease and keep its composure, allowing you to consider ripping as fast as possible, which this bike certainly likes to do. It has undergone with the syndicate for World Cup season after season, has guaranteed regular high-level feedback. The results, perhaps the foremost refined suspension performance available outside of a World Cup pit. 215 millimeters of VPP travel is exquisitely refined, and therefore the simple tuning and serviceability of the VPP system makes it successful within the pits with mechanics and privateers. It wasn't long before almost every manufacturer had big-wheeled DH bike of their own, some more refined than others. 29ers haven't completely dominated the downhill race scene the way some predicted. It seems that rider height is a crucial part of the equation, but the results sheets show that they are here to stay. The V10 is meant to be the right bike for anyone who steps up to the start line with eyes on the podium. The racer who chooses a V10 is the recipient of every little bit of work and puzzling that's gone into the syndicate's race bikes. While the V10 29 doesn't carry speed over flatter, rougher terrain also as a high pivot bike like the Norco Aurum HSP, it's certainly no slouch, and it's easy to get back up to full throttle without much rider input, unlike the Aurum. Santa Cruz's carbon frames have earned a well-deserved reputation for being highly refined, and therefore the V10 29 is not any exception. V10 is merely available with the CC level frame. There is no less expensive carbon or aluminum choice to be found. The frame is provided with 2 sets of flip chips, and tube-in-tube cable routing hides the derailleur housing from view, while the brake line is routed externally for simple brake swaps, which is usually nice to ascertain, since the very last thing anyone wants to try to struggle with, internal routing hours before a crucial race. Trail and enduro bike geometry still seem to be in a state of flux, but things are a bit more settled with the downhill world, at least for now. The reach on the size large V10 29 is 461 millimeters, which is within a couple of millimeters of the new Scott Gambler, Specialized Demo, and Norco's Aurum HSP. Although out of those 4 bikes, only the V10 and the Gambler are available in XL sizes. The V10 uses Santa Cruz's lower link-driven VPP suspension layout, with the shock positioned low within the frame and attached to a brace that joins the top and down tube. The bike's leverage curve was chosen with a coil shock in mind, but a bigger volume air shock, something along the line of a Fox Float X2, can work also. The general goal with the suspension design was to make a linearly progressive leverage curve so as to take care of a consistent feel with enough buildup to avoid going through all 215 millimeters of travel too quickly. The V10's voracious appetite for speed was clear. It was a very well-balanced bike, and it doesn't take long for one to get familiar with its geometry. The V10 delivers a highly engaging ride, and there's snappiness to its handling that's especially enjoyable when it comes to hitting larger jumps. So what about cornering? The grumbling about 29ers not being fun has started to die down, but I'd encourage any remaining naysayers to hit up a series of high-speed berm turns aboard the V10 29 without cracking a smile. It delivers an incredibly stable, locked-in feeling. Imagine the motorcycles that zoom around the wall of death at county fairs, or the way astronauts get pressed into their seats during blastoff. And you will start to get the picture. And that's all for today's video. Let us know your views in the comment section below. And don't forget to like this video before leaving.